Good morning, everyone. I'm an up early morning stitcher today. A few things on the mind. Sleep was not kind to me last night, but there we go. So, a bit of stitching always soothes the mind. And when it needs a lot of soothing, I like to do Dresden Petals. So guess what I'm doing today? Actually, let me just adjust this up a fraction, then you can see what I'm doing. Thought I'd show you how I do hand versions of paper piecing, specifically Dresden Plate Petals, but with a curve. The pointy ones are sort of pretty easy enough. You can get on with them, no hassle. But I like the curve to be smooth. I don't like any pointy ridges or anything, and I get a bit hyper about it for myself. So I'll show everybody how I did it. My very first quilt was a Dresden Plate quilt, full-size, huge single quilt, completely by hand from start to finish. So I've got quite good at getting a curve. Anyway, so what do? I tack along the long edge. I fold it in there and I hold it. Okay, so then I come back up through all the layers to anchor that corner, yeah. I then put it underneath my nail. And can you see there's a small pucker? There we go. Right, so I've got my pucker there, held with my right thumb. I'm going to grab it and hold that there out of the way, and then I'm going to tack back through. Alright. Then I'm going to do it again. Can you see the pucker is there? Hold it out of the way. Come back through. Now these are quite small tackings. Right, do it again. Hold it. Tack it. But can you see how you're getting a real nice smooth edge? Hold it in. Tack it. Hold it in. Tack it. So we're creating little pleats. Can you see how these pleats are coming here? See, underneath the nail, create your pleat. Hold it out of the way while you tack it. And you hold that quite forcefully. Alright, so hold it in, doobie-doo, tack it. Pucker it in, hold it, tack it. Right the way across the top of that curve. That will work for circles, anything curvy for paper piecing, okay? Hold it in, doody-doo, hold it. Now, can you see there's a whole row of puckers there all the way along? But look, you get a smooth, and if you did get a tiny point anywhere, when you applique this down later, if you come out of the point and pull it under, that's going to hold that for you out of the way. Right, so I fully appreciate this isn't going to be everybody's cup of tea to sit and watch, fair enough. But as I say, I do love a Dresden plate, especially when my brain's going round in circles, which it is today. My website's down, as some of you will have already found out, and it's looking like I'm going to have to build a new website. Last thing that I sort of need. But there we are. That's life. It's completely out of my control, which is probably why I'm awake, because I cannot control it. I am a bit of a one that likes to know what's going on. Unfortunately, my friend who hosts it and runs it for me has passed away suddenly. So I'm left without, and he was at a distance. And so it's difficult to find out what's going on. He was a self-employed bod, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, but it looks like I'm going to have to rebuild my website with all those hundreds and hundreds of fabrics to put back on. That's going to be interesting fun, but there we go. Such is life, these things happen. Bless him, he didn't deserve that all of a sudden to go, but there we are. As they say, comes to us all in the end. So anyway, there is my nice little Dresden petal ready to go. It's also quite handy. Look, my little bin at night. And I'll put the good ones on the left side and the bad ones on the right side, because that's what you do. So then we get a paper. I've already got a pile of bits of fabric that are sort of cut-ish. It's a bit rubbishy looking, but there we go. And then we're going to put that in there like that. Right in the middle there. This bit of fabric's not going to be good for anything else, so I don't care what I'm wasting on it. There we go. So I see Lynn's on, Jan's on, and now Liz has appeared. Hello, darling. Good morning. So I'm just going to roughly cut, because this isn't being done on a sewing machine. The outside edges don't have to be quite as accurate as anything else, so I literally just pin that on, cut it ish to shape. Alright, so I have trouble looking over the top of my phone here. Right, put the rubbish away, find what I did with the needle. That's always a good thing, isn't it? Oh yeah, there we go, we got a needle. Not in the end. This to me is very therapeutic. Morning, Jan. Thank you, darling. Did I see another one there? No, I didn't see another comment. Right, so we have our paper and a bit of fabric and a pin. Morning, Margaret. Well, I get notices of some people when they come up and watch. So Margaret Everett, morning, darling. So, nicely tight, says she, with a knot in her thread. A knot in her thread, there we go. And I can hear a cat headed this way. Baby Grey's here, I don't know what he's going to be doing now. Baby Grey, what a name. No, it's not, it's Jingie. Jingie. Hello, Jingie. Let me just move that out your way. I'll move him off. He has, look, let me just turn this here somewhere a little bit. There he is, it's Jingie. He's a gorgeous boy. He has to be nearer. He won't get on your lap, but he does like to be near and have a fuss. There we go, little tickle for Jingie. Right, so what was I saying? I was saying that we tack down the one side. Keep that quite nicely tight over your paper, all right? I don't know if you notice then, I do these so automatically I don't think about it. I'm sort of creasing and pulling and holding, and when I do that, can you see that moves any excess fabric back in to where you need it? There we go. Is there another comment there I'm looking at? Morning, Jan Williams. So we've got two Jans on. Right, so get to the corner and you're going to fold it in. You're going to hold that tightly. And you're going to come through all the layers in the corner. All right? Then, this is how I do mine. I don't know how others do this. This is like paper version by hand, all right? So curves. Get it underneath and you're creating a pleat in the middle there. Hold the pleat. Tack it. Push it over again. Hold. Tack. Quite close together. Push it over. Hold it. Tack it. Push it over. Hold it. Tack it. push it over, hold it, tack it, push it over, hold it, tack it. And what you've got going on here is a little row of pleats. Can you see that coming? Push him over under your nail, hold it, tack it. And I have to say, I used to bite my nails, so I know that even if you've really got no nails, this will still work. You only need a tiny amount of anything to hold that and push it over. All right, hold it, tack it. So we've now got a lovely curve down the outside edge. And then when you get you're going to join them together on there to get your circle of Dresden, yeah? Have I got one I've done here? Where's one we prepared earlier? Underneath Jingie. Right, so they'll go there. And when you're sewing them together, you always sew from the outside edge so you get a perfect join to the middle. You can fiddle the middle when you need to, but outside edge down. But you've got this row of puckers, all right, which is not a problem. They'll flatten out with an iron. So that's my last one. I'm going to hold that with that. I'm going to fold that over on top, and I'm going to come back through all the layers, which will hold that curve, okay? Back down this side. So what technically will be the inside of your Dresden, so this end, all right? Once you've joined them all together and got your ring of Dresden, some people like to put a circle over the top and hide all the centre, which is lovely. I really don't like doing that, but that's me being awkward. I like to show the backing fabric because you're going to do your ring and then you're going to applique that onto your backing fabric. So you come in, iron it, you've joined all your ring, okay? Iron it, take the tacking papers out, iron it again so as you get nice edges, and then you're going to applique that onto a backing fabric. So when you get to the outside edge, you've joined really nicely, but this centre can be all over the place. I like to fold that in like that. Tuck that bit back in. There we go. So you've got that nicely. And there is a slight curve in there. And then you're going to hold that really well. Okay. Just in there. Come back. And in there. A couple of tacks over to hold it. Okay. Put my needle somewhere. Find. Jingie, what have I done with my scissors, darling? They're underneath. Oh, I'm sorry. He's looking at me like, what are you doing? You touched me. Right. So there we go. So that's actually got a very slight curve. And by the time you add it all around, that will be a nice hole in the centre. And you can applique around the hole onto your backing fabric and around the outside onto the backing fabric. When you've done your ring and you've ironed it and you're taking your papers out, ready to applique, if the centres aren't all even, you can fiddle them and iron them, and so you get a nice ring. All right, so there we go. That's how I do those. And I'm going to sit here quietly and do lots of them with a bit of luck. Those that are interested, there is a reason I'm doing these. Mystery Quilt. Da da da. It's going to be part of the Mystery Quilt. Now, don't get panicky. The Mystery Quilt does not have to be done by hand. There's nothing to say you can't just use Bondaweb and applique. I've lost my needle. There it is. Applique, Bondaweb even, the Dresden shape into place. So those of you that are looking at possibly doing the Mystery Quilt, do not worry. But those of you that want to do them by hand, put them onto their background and then put everything together by machine. That's perfectly acceptable as well, as far as I'm concerned. But there's your little lesson on how to do by hand if you want. So, hopefully, I'm going to open up, sign up for the Mystery Quilt Christmas Eve. All right. So, what's that? That's coming up rapidly. That's on Wednesday, 3 days. 4 days if you include today. But we're going to have to do it slightly differently because I still don't know if I'm going to have a website by then. Technical issues one way and another of transferring stuff. I have no idea. As I say, I don't know if he had a backup in place. For those that have joined us are not sure, my website's down because my friend's passed away suddenly. So I don't quite know what's going on with that. It looks like I shall probably have to redo and rebuild a whole complete website. So, but that's my problem, not your problems. Unless any of you out there happen to be amazing web designers, in which case give me a shout. There we go. Just when you think life's sort of getting okay. So that's what managed to keep me awake all night last night. I think I managed about 3.5 hours in the end. I don't know about anybody else out there. How's your insomnia quilting and stitching going? Anybody out there actually stitching? What are we up to? There we go. Oh, morning Grace. I can see that you're watching, Dar. That's nice. Thank you for joining us. I'm on autopilot here, can you tell? I get to the point where I don't even think about how you do this. So yeah, what was I saying about the Mystery Quilt? So there will be Dresden within the Mystery Quilt. I've been requested this year to do a quilt that is more traditional samplery type thing. So what can I tell you about it without giving it away? There's Dresden Plate, there you go. There's lots of Dresden Plate. And then there's piecing. But I've also been requested no triangles this year. So, okay, so we've got piecing, which is all straight stitch, straight edge. And the blocks, they're all 12-inch blocks, finish. But I've designed them all myself. So you've got lots of straight edge finish blocks, which is going to be quite interesting as it goes. Morning, Sarah Jane. Yeah, so Mystery Quilt. So we're going to be some Dresden. The Dresden, although I'm doing mine by hand because that's what I like, can be done by machine. So don't let that put you off. And then lots of blocks with straight line stitching only. I'm not going to say that they're all really easy because they're not. I've made sure that it's going to keep your interest with a bit of luck. And also, where is the point in doing anything if you're not learning or testing yourself or pushing your abilities? I'm a great one for, I suppose it's because I teach. Why not? Why should you not be progressing with what you do? Yeah, so the blocks that I've designed, they start fairly easy. They get a little bit more difficult, but there is nothing there that anybody would be unable to complete. I'm also a firm believer in you can do more than you think when you try. So Mystery Quilt is on the way on Wednesday. But we might have to do the sign up differently. Might have to do it direct with me instead of on the website because I have no website. I'm going to whinge about that all day. But it's far worse that my poor friend has passed suddenly what I've got left with is nothing in comparison to others. So, there we are. Right, so what's next? Another bit of paper. What have I done with the papers? I had the papers here somewhere. I've pre-cut my own papers. Okay. We're Dresden plating for those that might have just come on. When I do the quilt shows around the country, a lot of you see me running little workshops and stuff, and everybody has to hand in their ticket, because then I get paid, which is quite good. But I save all the tickets that are handed in, and any other tutor's tickets, whose that is. And then I reuse them for when I'm teaching, excuse me, Hexes or Dresden or whatever. So what I was leading on to was my mate Andy from Crafty UK, who makes my templates and stuff. But he's made me a new ruler, which is going to be available shortly. I would have put it on, but I haven't got a website. And that ruler is designed specifically for when you're doing sampler blocks. So it's 12.5 inches long, so that you've got the length of your block with your seam allowance included. At one end, it's not a square like, a big square or anything. It's 4.5 inches wide and 12.5 inches long. Okay, so at one end you've got a full-on normal ruler that is 4.5 inches square with all the usual markings and diagonals on and everything, so that you've got the size of a square, for a traditional sampler block. So your 4-inch finish square within a 9 patch. But it's also got holes in the ruler. So you've got a nice hole for your Dresden petal, and you've got a hexagon, and you've got a diamond. So your hexagon for obviously any hexagon blocks. Your diamond comes in really cool for stars and stuff and hunters and that sort of thing, but also for tumbling block. And each of the designs then fit on your 12-inch finished square. But you've got holes in the ruler, so all you've got to do is draw around the hole. It's really quick and really easy. I actually like to cut my own papers, because then I find that all very therapeutic. But everything needs to be accurate. It's like everything in patchwork. If you start off accurately, then everything will come together really well. Gingie's looking at me like he's sat on the edge of my chair here on the arm, as if he's on guard. And then he's just looked at me like, who the bloody hell are you talking to? Really quite amusing. Let me just move him and show you. Look. He sat on guard. There's a Christmas tree with no lights on. Got to clean the fireplace. There's another Christmas tree in there with the camels. There we are. And me sat here doing a Dresden. Right, what's the time anyway? I don't know what time I started this. Well, we were 7:30. Paul will be up in a minute, I should think. I don't think he noticed that I went to bed last night, let alone get up again this morning early. Anyone just coming on, hello, good mornings. I see there's a few of you popping in and out, waking up early. I'm just sat here quietly whinging and doing some Dresden plates, ready for the mystery quilt. I ought to say as well that the mystery quilt is mostly scraps. It's not all scraps. The backgrounds are all specifics. Morning, Angela. What a lovely fireplace. Thank you. I like it. I have to say we're very lucky. It was here, obviously, when we moved in. This is an elderly bungalow we're in. just fold that in. Morning, Elaine. Yes, I'm just talking about the mystery quilt. So the mystery quilt, how does this work? Well, I run it over 6 months, starting 20th of January. Normally I post out the first. And I do post. I don't do any of this. Hey up. Paul must be moving because the other cat started whinging at the door for more food. I have fed him. Ignore him, everybody. So yeah, I run it over 6 months. I post out to you full instructions and your templates that you may or may not need. And together, I get you making a quilt that you have no idea what it's going to look like. I think it's really funny. I just absolutely love the fact that you trust me to be making something all right, I'll give you a basic idea, but you don't know what it's going to look like. It could be anything. As it is, we're going to do Dresden's. It's going to be standard 12-inch blocks. I have messed around with the Dresden's. There was going to be piecing, and I have messed around and made up some straight stitch. Looking for another paper here. Straight stitch blocks, so no triangles. I was requested this year, no triangles, please. So we got no triangles because I think last year we did stars, and one of the wonky stars sort of stressed and tested everybody a little bit. Everyone did it, but it took a little bit of doing. So none of them this year. Standard, well, not standard blocks, Abbified blocks. And Dresden that's been Abbified. Because I don't leave things normal, you know what I'm like. So this is me doing bits. He's very loud. Yes, he's very loud. I fed them when I got up at gosh knows what time. But he can hear Paul in the other side of the bungalow. And so now he'll pester until such time. This is the cat I'm talking about, by the way. Until such time as Paul feeds him as well. So I only ever give him half a sachet at a time because otherwise he would pig the lot. This is Baby Grey I'm talking about. Gingie's still sat here like a little sentry next to me. Baby Grey. He's 15. He's not baby at all. He is very loud though, yes. And he'll just keep on like that and it will get worse and worse until such times as Paul comes through and gives him his second breakfast. I'd like to say he's a hobbit, but he's not. He's just a very loud, naughty boy. So Mystery Quilt. Sign up will be open on... I'm starting to repeat myself here because I don't really know what I've been talking about. Sign up will be on from Wednesday. And you can join in or decide to join in at any time. There is a cost involved. Because I have to write the patterns, print all your instructions and your templates, and you get full-size patterns probably, depending on what we're doing, where needed anyway. And I post these all out to you, so quite obviously there is a charge. And I think it's going to be £12 a month, plus postage. But we'll see. It depends how many sheets and how long it all takes, to be fair. There'll be fabric packs available for the background fabrics to the background for the Dresden, and a separate pack, if anybody wants it, of long quarters. I think, I want to say there's 7 different colours. I could be wrong. But obviously, I was going to say I'll put photos on. I'll put photos on Facebook. I can't put them on my website because I haven't got a website. But I'll put photos of it all on the fabrics. And they are what I've been using in the straight blocks as opposed to these Dresden blocks. So they'd be available if you want, or you can just have the patterns and work along with us. So I say, I think the patterns are going to be £12 a month. plus postage. And to be fair, I usually chuck them out second class. I don't like doing them online because people get problems with printing them at the right size, downloading them, all sorts of issues happen. And it's me at a distance that has to try and sort that out. And I find that very, very stressful and awkward. So I would rather just do things old-fashioned and print it and send it to you. Then that way I know you've got what you need. It's so much easier. I am happy to send them abroad if anybody's wanting, but you do need to shout me and we sort out the postage for you. And it's quite easy sending a pattern each month because it will go through as hopefully a large letter, which means we can send. I'm just going to try and thread my needle, send them abroad easier. And I don't mind doing that for anybody that wants to join us. Right, there will be also with the Mystery Quilt, there is always a Facebook group that I do up separately so that you can ask questions. Can you hear his scratching? Because he's being ignored and he thinks he's needing his breakfast. Yeah, that's the cat I'm talking about, not my husband. Yeah, so there's always a Facebook group where you can talk to each other or me for help, and I'll probably do a proper video of me doing this and pop that into the group so that helps anybody. That's the sort of thing that we use it for, so that you all get to make things with ease, because we don't want anyone struggling. So that's the Mystery Quilt, open from Christmas Eve for sign up. Payment is usually in 2 parts if anybody's wanting, which is like month 1, 2 and 3, followed by 4, 5 and 6 as and when. So it splits the payment up as well, so that hopefully you're not struggling too much. Right, did I put a knot in the end? I do things automatically. I really do. Okay, so that's my little bit of doing for now. I'm going to carry on doing these until Paul gets up. And then I'll think about what we're going to do for the day. Hopefully you're all doing lovely Christmassy things, family things, or are you all stitching? I don't know. Julia Crosspatch, she's going to do a live, I think this morning at 9:30. She's got a few offers and things for you, I believe, so that would be good. So if you're watching, over to Julia. My next proper Three Amigo live won't be until after Christmas, so the bit between Christmas and New Year, I'll see you. I'm going to say with offers, yes it is, it's not a problem, even though I've not got a website. If you want anything, all you've got to do is message me. And or comment on my page or something, and I'll find you and sort out what the issues are. You can give me a ring, obviously in working hours, if you need to discuss anything. So a little bit awkward that I've not got the website, but it's far more awkward for those related to my friend who suddenly passed away. My problems are nothing compared. So there we are. Right. Oh, do you see? Look, I've whizzed around there without even thinking about it. And then you get that, look, this lovely edge, all smooth. What happened to the website? Sarah, the guy that, my friend that has run it for 15 years, has suddenly passed away. He's a self-employed chap, so I'm not at all sure what backup is in place, if anything at all. I'm of a mindset that I shall probably rebuild it anyway. So I'm without for a little minute, and being a Saturday, Sunday, I can't do a lot about any of that. And especially at Christmas, because most techie people have long Christmas breaks. So it's all very interesting here at the moment. But as I say, it's far worse for his family than for me. So there we go. What will be, will be. Anyway, so as I say, that's my problem, not yours. Look how quick that gets done. So if you've never done them by hand, I would suggest trying by hand. I'll put my scissors somewhere, there they are. It's not a difficult thing at all. I find it very, very therapeutic. So there we go. Right, anyway, I'm going to leave you all to your day. As I say, Julia will be on at 9:30 on Cross Patch if you want to nip over and see her and tell her hello from me. And I will be back on with you at whenever it is that I can't sleep, if not, next Sunday. So, have a fabulous, fabulous Christmas, everybody. Overindulge, eat too much, drink too much, love too much, okay? Be good, be good. Right, I'm going to finish off. Be lovely, everyone. Bye-bye.